Hello, how are you going there? Please don't be alarmed by my outfit. It'll all become very clear. About 5 years ago, my friend Judy, Dale and I were sitting on my couch with a large glass of wine, dreaming of something new to do. I was in my mid-30s, my career was kind of plodding along, I had young kids and my life was getting pretty mundane. So we were jamming some ideas and we came up with book club and cooking classes, and then Jude said scrapbooking. I was like, no. And then we hit upon the idea of synchronised swimming. I loved this idea. I thought it was really out there and different. It's something you could do with a group of friends, and it was something we'd never tried before. It seemed like the perfect vehicle for creating some joy. So I got on the phone and I rang up a synchronised swimming club, and I got talking to the lady, but when she realised it wasn't my kids I was inquiring for, it was for middle-aged women, she promptly told me, no way, I can't help you. We were outraged. Middle-aged women are allowed to synchronised swim, hello. So we decided to do it ourselves. We grabbed some mates and we jumped in the pool, but we were totally out of our depth. It was really, really hard. We couldn't even keep above the water, let alone make beautiful patterns in the water with our bodies. Everyone found it really difficult. I think one lady ended up throwing up in the toilets from drinking too much pool water. It's like our Olympic dreams are over. We have to have a rethink. So we invited our super talented, amazing friend, Linda McFettridge, who happens to be a dance choreographer. And she had the genius idea of moving us to the kids' pool. So with our feet firmly on the bottom and some funky dance moves in our repertoire, we were able to channel our inner water ballerinas, and thus the wet, hot beauties were born. Crazy, I know, I'm crazy. What started off as a group of friends has morphed into this thriving, amazing community of contemporary water ballerinas. We are fully inclusive. As long as you can count to 8, you're allowed to be in the group. We are made up largely of women of all ages, shapes and sizes, and some very brave men, also of all ages, shapes and sizes. Currently, our past and present whānau sit around 230 people. The youngest is 14, I think the oldest is late 50s, early 60s. And we come from a really varied background. We have stay-at-home mums, we have students, we have urban professionals, we have a socialite, we have mothers and daughters, and we also have husbands and wives. One year we had 2 people who couldn't swim. We have someone who is legally blind. What is really, really neat about this group is that most people don't come from a dance or a performance background, and heaps of people haven't done any public performing since school. It's really amazing. We do all kinds of performances. We started off with a 5-minute one for our friends. We moved up to 10 minutes. This you see here is a tribute to Michael Jackson. Our highlight so far has been doing a full-length water ballet as part of the 2011 Fringe Festival. We got 80 performers in the water, and every night we had to get the Parnell Baths set up for a 250-seat venue. Every night we had to put seats in and lighting and sound and box office. It was quite a mission. Our latest endeavour is to put our cheeky modern spin on Swan Lake, which is what we're presenting next year for the Fringe. This is part of Sirens here. You can see all of the crazy people in the water. What I have found really amazing about this whole journey, it's been so crazy. There's been great big highs and great big lows. I've learnt lots about myself. I've learnt lots about managing huge groups of wet, cold people. I've learnt about how a small, silly idea can just blossom into something truly wonderful. But most of all, this journey has been filled with joy. Joy is something I hold dear. It's a value I hold dear. I think it's really important. I think it's a celebration. It is an antidote to this crazy, fearful modern world we live in. But most of all, for me, joy is when life clicks. This is what it's all about. And joy not only makes you feel good, but it makes you feel more alive. This amazing woman, Brené Brown, in her TED talk, The Power of Vulnerability, talks about the idea of leaning into joy. I think this is just such a beautiful image, leaning into joy. It's so visceral that we should be embracing it. And most importantly, that if we let it, joy can take some of the weight. A lot of this joy that we happened in the Wet Hot Beauties was spontaneous, of course it is. But we worked out that actually we created a lot of this joy. And that's a really powerful thing. And that's what I've come to talk to you today about, the art of creating joy and how, if we let it, we can let joy into our worlds. For me, the most important has been just getting off the couch, diving in. And that is really hard. It's surprisingly hard. Jude and I spent summer after summer after summer talking about the idea of synchronised swimming, but it's not what you say, it is what you do. And the tipping point came for me when someone told me I couldn't do it. You can't synchronise swim. And I could have got back on the couch, opened some more wine, and done nothing. But I had a real fire in my belly. And what I learned is that action equals creation. Without action, we can't do any of it. We can't do synchronised swimming, we can't have joy. So that's been really powerful for me. When we first started out, we were determined to do traditional synchronised swimming. But that just didn't work out. And actually that was a good thing, because what we realised is the magic didn't come until we made it our own, till we let go of this kind of preconception that we had of what this group was going to be about and just went on the ride. So instead of doing it in a deep pool, let's just do it in a small pool and we can just create an optical illusion that we're like floating. Or, hey, this is actually an Olympic sport, but actually if we turn it into an art form, then we can get Creative New Zealand money. Part of the joy and the satisfaction of being in the group is making it our own. And even in the pool, when I was trying to imitate 1930s Aqua Queen Esther Williams, it felt really hollow. And it wasn't until I started splashing around as Pip Hall, yes, with some sass and attitude and some irony, that being a water ballerina really started to resonate with me. So we found that making it our own makes it more authentic, gives us a deeper connection to what we're doing. And that translates for us and for the audiences. I truly believe that joy is meant to be shared. Yes, you can do joy on your own, but who are you going to share your little fist pump with or your little dance when things go really well? Joy is infectious. It's really infectious. People see it and they want to be part of it. We have found that pretty much the Wet Hot Beauties have grown exponentially since we formed because people think it is fun and they want to be part of it. Part of the joy is sharing this great journey with all of these people and creating something that's really special. I used to think that I was a really great dancer until I watched the video. Oh man, I am just floundering around with everybody else in the pool, trying to get from side to side, and I'm blinking back these salty tears with this great big smile on my face because I worked out it doesn't matter. What matters is that I love it. I love doing it. Getting rid of my self-censor was so incredibly hard. It was really challenging for me. But when I did, it was truly liberating. The idea that you can just do stuff for pleasure instead of being good at it. It's really great. In fact, part of the Wet Hot Beauty charm, as you can see, is that we're not perfect. We are far from perfect, and we would actually be pretty naff if we were. We're all just kind of crazy, splashing around, often it's total chaos. And while it is the patterns and the dives and the floats that we do that draw an audience, it's actually our joy and kind of satisfaction about splashing around in the pool that really shines out. I have this very vivid memory of, in the first season when we were trying to recruit new people, being at this party and I was talking to this woman about joining, and she totally shot me down in front of all these incredibly cool people, and she said, "That is the stupidest thing I have ever heard. Who would want to do that shit?" And I was gutted. I was really gutted, and I worked out, and it made me realise that doing something like this, putting yourself out there is a risk. It's a huge risk, and you are vulnerable to being judged, as was this case. But part of being this group is putting yourself out there and taking on the risk and taking on the vulnerability and the courage and bravery that takes. Especially the guys in the group. I am totally in awe that any guy would want to be in a water ballet company. that any guy would want to be in a water ballet company that was formerly known as the Wet Hot Bitches. They are so brave. But we all take on this vulnerability when we perform. None of us have done anything like this. We're performing in public, and a lot of people haven't done that before. We are performing in public in our togs. What we're doing is silly. But by taking on this vulnerability and risk, we're opening ourselves up for so much joy. And I think that one of the things that resonates with the people who come and see us is it's that openness and vulnerability on our faces that they really respond to, and it makes it very special. I think one of the most amazing things about this journey is we set it up because we wanted to do something fun. We wanted to create joy. But actually, it has had this profound outcomes, these amazing side effects that we could never have predicted. Some life-changing things have happened to people just in the act of trying to get some joy. Yes, we've made friends, but we have made a community. And that's a really, really special thing. And this community transcends just the members of the troupe. It includes our families and our friends and Parnell and the Parnell Baths and Facebook. And we just had a sisterhood Wet Hot Beauty set up in Sydney called the Bondi Bathing Beauties. So that's really awesome. And it's such a joy to share this kind of kaupapa, this common vision of belonging and full inclusivity and trying something new and busting out our art form and always having a cheeky modern twist. And this has led to a real sense of belonging, a sense of achievement and pride. It's really hard to beat. For me, and I know for a large number of women in the troupe, being part of this family has been really empowering. I've been able to work through some personal barriers. I have been able to work towards a common goal with people and express myself artistically and creatively, and I have had the courage to come out in public in my togs. Yeah. I know it's given lots of us, real bravery and courage, and we've kind of grabbed life by being part of this. And for me especially, it's really helped find my place in the world. I hate to admit it, but I'm a middle-aged woman, and I don't know sometimes where I fit in this world that celebrates youth and the wrinkle-free. So by kind of creating this place where we celebrate a bygone glamour of the 30s and we mix it with this kind of kick-ass modern girl power, I found a place because we made a place. And so now I can accept and celebrate my own unique form. And being in a changing room with 66 naked women of all ages and sizes is incredibly humbling and incredibly equalising. And it's taught me that beauty takes many, many forms. See, many, many forms. It's awesome. Ultimately, the Wet Hot Beauties has been a haven for all of us. It's a place to escape the everyday humdrum and book club. And for some, it's been a real place to heal. One of the most touching moments I've had over this 5 years is when a woman came up to me after the season and she shared this really personal thing. She said, I've had 2 miscarriages and a marriage breakup, and coming here has been the only escape I've had. It's the only place I've been able to smile. And that was really awesome. And I was like, yes, this is why we set this group up. It's a place where we can dream and we can work out who we are and who we want to be and find a place to fly. And this is a pretty amazing outcome for something where we just wanted to have a bit of fun. I'm a passionate advocate for active living and for chasing the joy. I know that water ballet might not be your thing, but I really urge you to get up off the couch and find your joy and lean into it. Lean into it, because I promise you, if you do, amazing things are waiting there for you. Thank you.